Hello, Xavier.
Hi.
It's so great to see you again.
It's good to see you.
The last time we had our session, you brought up a few important points that I really want to talk with you a little bit more about today.
Okay.
You talked about your college life. Tell me something more about it.
Whew, okay. And so, masters is a lot for me. A lot because this is not my first masters. This is my second. The problem was my first masters wasn't accredited, and so I went through it, 2 years working on it, just about, and doing a thesis and all of that stuff just to figure out something called K-crap and all this other stuff, and how this master's wasn't enough to be able to get you to become a licensed professional counselor. And so I went into a really, really dark place for a while. And so now I'm back. I took about a year or two off. And after that, I went ahead and decided, I felt the Lord telling me that it was time to try again. And I had applied to Liberty actually a couple years before. And I got through, I got accepted, and then I just let it go. Because I had that little bit of a trauma. So now I have some anxiety about being back in school. And I know that this program is accredited, but it makes me a little bit nervous.
Tell me a little bit more about that anxiety that you're feeling.
There's just some fears that kind of come up that say this is not going to work, and I think some of that is now realizing I've been out of school for a couple of years now, and now I'm getting back in. This program is way harder than the one that I was doing before, and even just sitting in class today, I could feel my knees shaking under the table, and some of those things, I'm right in the thick of it. And so sometimes just being back in this, it's a little bit later in life. I already have I'm already in the middle of my career or ministry. I'm married. I got all this stuff going on. So I had a lot more freedom before. Now there's so much more on the line,
Based on what I'm hearing, you seem to have been handling it. The challenges that you have experienced, it seems as if you have been managing. Talk to me a little bit more about some of the things that you have used to build yourself as you moved forward from one master program to another.
Sure. Of course, the taking the time off was good. And also between that time and now, I've got some mentors that really push me to keep going forward. And my wife is an amazing support system. She is just the sweetest thing and a godsend to me. And she's been a really great, sometimes just a little background. It's like, babe, it's going to be okay, kind of stuff has been really, really a blessing to me. And of course, I think I'm in a different place. I think what's different this time, and now that I'm thinking about it, might be different from this time, as I really feel like the Lord led this one. And that might be the saving grace in it, is because I heard him say, Xavier, it's time to go back. And I said, okay, yes, sir. And there I am.
Based on what you said about mentors, they have helped you to come through, and here you are again, and you have that firm belief that things are going to work better for you because you have this drive that you want to pursue. Am I talking correctly?
Yeah. I think you definitely got it. I think the key word probably behind this might be purpose. Yes. Is the Lord put a vision for me. He said, I want you to go to school. I want you to do your training. I want you to do your internships and all of that. And then I want you to come back to your church, and I want this to make a counseling center from this place and be able to use it to help your community. And so he's already put plans in my mind and things that I just wrote down. And it's like, okay, this is the end goal for me. So I think that the fact that he kind of gave there's spirit-led direction this time.
Because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you have someone who's with you, who's standing by your side and guiding you through, and that's, you say, your God?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit more about your relationship with him and how it helps you to pursue that which you're doing now.
I think like with anyone else, your walk with God fluctuates. Okay. Even being senior pastor of a church, like sometimes I go to do my devotions and it feels like work. Or sometimes I go to pray and it feels like work, and you just give so much of yourself. I'm married, just got a dog, she's a handful, and um, full-time ministry, a wife, a dog, and now a master's program that takes hours a day for me to read because I'm an avidly slow reader. A lot of those different pressures are on, but God really is like the central focus.
You have a wife, you're studying, you have a church, all these things. Mm. Talk to me some more about that.
Well, which part?
About school.
Yeah.
And family.
Yeah, I think all those things have been set up to kind of set the pace for this. I really do feel like I'm in the center of God's will for my life, and what He's done now is said, okay, now that I've brought you to where I want to bring you, it's time for the next step.
Okay.
And I think that's where I'm at now.
Will you talk a little bit about the anxiety? You're at this position now, and you said before that you're still experiencing this level of anxiety.
Yeah.
And your God
mm-hmm.
is also there to help you, as you said.
Right.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit more about how you foresee yourself moving forward with God and with that which you're doing.
Again, I think a lot of it is going to be just getting this done. After today's lecture that I had in class today, I'm considering the PhD again. So I'm like, oh, not more school. I'm already trying to get through this. But I really think that God's got really big things in store for this. And a lot of the times, I think that anxiety comes from fear of failure. I think that's been a big thing in my life. I mean, I'm 28. I'm one of the youngest senior pastors I know. There's a lot on my plate, and I think that's why the devil tries to get in my ear a little bit and says, man, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you got going on. You're going to blow all of this. And I think some of that anxiety comes from that. So I've been really trying to, do what Jesus Christ did and just quote that scripture back to him so that I can say, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. God has given me a purpose. He's given me a plan. And fighting that anxiety with Christ. And
so we could talk a little bit more about the fear that you experience, because we know that the fear can create other problems.
Sure.
So you have been dealing with this level of fear in your own life, and your confidence in your God is there also to help you in dealing with this fear.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this was nice, just being able to come and just and talk through this. I think I've got some thoughts. I think I may not have been quite handling it as good as I probably could have. I think you helped me to realize that I do have things like a good support system, and the fact that my God never leaves me, and some of those things like that. And I think those may be stuff to help drive.
Because you talk about the mentor, you talk about your family, you talk about the church, good support system.
Yeah.
So when we meet the next time, we can talk a little bit more about how we can build the system, the support system in a better way, so that you can be successful.
Okay.
So thank you very much for talking with me.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, ma'am.
At our next session.